From the Accident Recovery Team Traffic Center, don't worry about me, I called ART.
Traffic. The main roads are running smoothly, but there's construction on Southeast Boulevard northbound at 31st Street. From the Accident Recovery Team Traffic Center, that's your Odyssey Wichita traffic. Weather.
Good morning. We'll see a mix of sun and clouds today, a gusty wind from the south and a high of 91 after 5 o'clock and through the evening. A strong storm or two cannot be ruled out. Most will stay dry. Overnight low 69. Becoming partly cloudy on Friday, a high of 94. Chance of a storm on Friday night. Mostly sunny. Continued hot on Saturday, high 93. That's your forecast from Storm Team 12. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn.
Hello, this is Paul Solentrop of Wichita State University Strategic Communications. Join us each Saturday at 10 a.m. on KFH for the Roundhouse Podcast. We talk with Shocker athletes and Shocker coaches to take fans behind the scenes. Saturday at 10 a.m. on KFH.
You got to listen to Jim Rome afternoons on KFH.
Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH Wichita, KNSS HD2 Clearwater, an Odyssey Sports Station.
Hey Wichita, it's Jacob Albrock. Stay right there for the latest breaking in sports talk. It's Sports Daily coming up next exclusively on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Jim Rome here with your Rome Report. Is there anyone anywhere surprised that Victor Wembanyama came out and went full alien last night against Minnesota after he was ejected in Game 4 for cracking Naz Reid? And all this rage about how he should have been suspended on top of that ejection and that Minnesota got under his skin, into his head, and they would do it again in Game 5. Yeah, well, horrible take, Hot Take Nation. Swing and a miss, Lava Pigs. Of course, this guy was dominant last night, enabling the Spurs to rip back control of the series. There is your future face of the league, showing that he's way ahead of schedule and that he truly is one of one. I mean, big ups to the Wolves. Never say never when it comes to these guys. Not dead, can't quit. And yes, they have come back before, but they're not coming back this time. Not now, not against this guy, and not to go lava pig like the Lava Pigs themselves, but the NBA has never seen anything like Wemby before. And I mean ever. I'm Jim Rome. And remember, you can follow me on Instagram at Jim Rome.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
The U.S. Treasury just released its official financial report for 2025. Buried in it is a startling admission. By its own numbers, it appears the U.S. government is insolvent. When governments go this deep in debt, they print money, raise taxes, or cut benefits, none of which can help protect you. That's why people move part of their savings into physical gold and silver. Call Monetary Gold at 877-NOW-GOLD for their complimentary gold and silver guide. That's 877-NOW-GOLD. Call Monetary Gold now at 877-NOW-GOLD. Do it before the next headline, not after. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional.
Dr. X here, shooting truth bullets at you from an undisclosed location. Because if they knew where I was, they'd shut me down.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH, this is Sports Daily.
Speaking of heroes, here's mine.
Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome in to Sports Daily. It's a Thursday here on the show. We're happy to be with you today. Glad to have you all the different ways you're listening to us. Jacob Albrock, TJ Cleveland here, Max Power producing. We've got you over the air at 97.5. You can call us at 869-1240. You can email us at sportsdaily@kfhradio.com. Also got you on our video streams, 12 News Connected, Facebook, YouTube, X. You can hit us directly on the socials. If you're listening to us on the Odyssey app, you have us via voice messaging, which is available. We're going to talk some NFL football. We get a big schedule leak for the Kansas City Chiefs just ahead of the full schedule release later today. I'll have that for you. We have a big topic of discussion today, and that is the continued support of a 24-team college football playoff. The Big 12, the ACC behind this now. So we will discuss. We'll also have our K-State Insider Tim Fitzgerald in a little later to discuss with him as well. Looking forward to that conversation. And, of course, we'll also talk some Kansas City Royals. It's your home of Royals baseball here on KFH. Another tough loss last night. Jaylon Thompson going to rearrange his schedule so he can get on the road to St. Louis. He will actually join us later this hour instead of his regular Friday visit. That's coming for you as well. It's all What's on Tap, brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company. Now featuring Caddy Snack, Wichita's golf beer. Caddy Snack Blonde Ale, refreshingly crushable, makes the perfect pairing from the first tee to the 19th hole, no matter the score. Caddy Snack reminds you to beer the ball. Wichita Brewing Company, pizza and beer made here. TJ, good morning. How are you?
Jacob, I've got a question right off the top. You sent it to me last night. We've got some schedule release things. I have a pop quiz I want to ask you. What are the Chiefs doing on Thanksgiving?
They are playing football.
They are. Give me more information. I need to know what your brain says.
They are playing football in the nightcap. They are playing football in the nightcap in what have been some of the biggest games over the last 4 or 5 years.
All right. Still haven't said it yet. Where is the game being played?
Oh, I don't know where it's being played. I know they're playing the Buffalo Bills.
Dang it. Okay. You sent me something last night, and it had the slate on it, and it said Bills at Chiefs. And so I looked it up, and I said, oh, yep, there it is. Somebody else was reporting it too. It's like, all right, the Chiefs are hosting the Bills. And then I got a text this morning that says, I don't think that game's in Kansas City. And then I looked it up again, and the only thing that said it was in Kansas City was the thing that you sent me, and I didn't double check hard enough.
I wasn't even paying attention to location, to be perfectly honest with you. This is right before I went to bed. I'm like, oh, look at that. I'm going to send that to TJ. I can remember if it was before showtime or why I sent it.
It was after the 10, and I was like just getting it out before I went home, tweeted it out, went home, went to bed, and then I just looked this morning, and I was like, son of a gun.
Do we know where it is? Do we know
it is in Buffalo? Yes.
Okay.
It's in Buffalo.
I kind of like that, to be perfectly honest.
And the thing that you sent me,
I like that it's in Buffalo.
What's his name? Myri, I think, something like that.
One of the aggregators.
He's a real person, though. No, not one of the fake ones. He's a real person, but he tweets a lot of stuff.
Yes,
he tweeted out the slate, and it said Bills at Chiefs, and then the reply said the game will actually be in Buffalo, not in Kansas City, which is my biggest pet peeve on earth. Is whenever reporters, or even especially reporters, they'll tweet out something and it's like just wrong, and then they reply to it and they're like, actually it's this. I'm like, well, then you can just delete the tweet,
delete the original,
and not let everybody, because how many people read the comment? You know what I mean? Like that's like journalism 101.
Is that Twitter etiquette? Like you don't get to delete the original post.
People make a bigger deal. That's something I can soapbox about. People make a bigger deal about like you can't delete it. You're a journalist. Like it's on the record. I'm like, well, then just tweet it again, right? Like I get it. If we put out an article,
that's not even the right use of the term "on the record."
You know what I mean? I do. It's reported. It's out there. You can't retract it. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. I'm like, okay. But it's not the same as like an article, like in print, right? Like I guess in the old newspaper days, but if just delete it and tweet it again.
We have the technological abilities to
either click the edit button, which still is not the best idea in the world. I don't like it. I don't like the edit button as much, but just delete it and just tweet it again. I get it if whatever.
Well, if you're changing, if you're doing it for reasons that are sinister, then yeah, if you're doing it because it's like, oops, that's not right.
If it's a clerical error, yeah, I agree. There's other reasons you would delete stuff and everything like that. But if it's a clerical, like, oh, my bad, like just tweet it again.
Yeah. Chiefs Bills. So that slate, my goodness, that slate. And we'll talk about this in the next hour. Thanksgiving Eve, you get Packers Rams. Then you start your day with Bears, Lions, then Eagles, Cowboys, Chiefs, Bills. Come on, man. That's fantastic. And if you want to care, Black Friday's Broncos, Steelers. Not quite as exciting. I'm not sure what to make of the Steelers right now. But that Thanksgiving Day slate that's good stuff. That is good stuff. Man, oh, man. So, yeah, that one comes out late last night. We'll get the full schedule. It's this evening, right? Is the technical. But it's this evening. But don't we always get the the funny videos like through the afternoon. Maybe it's tomorrow afternoon that we just react to the funny videos.
No, I think the fun. I don't think it's this evening. I'm pretty sure all the funny videos are going to start coming out today. It's all. They all usually drop at the same time.
But I think it's 7:00 tonight.
Okay, then they're all going to come out at 7:00 tonight then.
Right, and so then it's tomorrow that we will spend the whole day reacting to them, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know how you consume this because it's funny, and it was, it's the shine is wearing off of that, I think, every year, and now it's a tradition, and I think it's still popular. I always just kind of sit back and wait to hear which ones are really good, and then I just go watch those. I'm not watching 32 of those things. Do you? Do you take the time to watch all 32 teams?
No, I don't watch all of them. No. I think that usually my doing is that I'll watch the Chiefs. I'll probably watch the Chargers because they're the famous ones now. And then
Titans usually do good, right?
Yeah, they do the ones where they ask the people on Broadway and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That was funny the first year. That's right.
I was just say I don't know if they can keep the shtick going 3 years in a row. But no, I don't watch them all. It's usually I sit there and usually for me, it's I'll just look up and say, who had the best schedule of these videos? Okay, they said theirs is the funniest. Let's go be the judge of that, and I go from there.
Yeah, it's kind of like Super Bowl commercials. Most of the time, I don't see all of them. Well, most of the time we're working in some capacity, but even when you're getting a snack, grabbing a beer, you just wait and see which ones are the best, and then you go watch. Maybe you're at a Super Bowl party, the volume's not up, but that happens today, so we'll get into that. But when we come back, we got to talk about this 24-team playoff. I mean, is it inevitable at this point? It's interesting, big time, because you have all of this support getting behind it. At one point, there was only kind of the Big Ten off on an island, but there are a lot of things to consider. And so even the people that want this understand we got to do it really, really carefully. So we'll get into what the latest was, why this is in the news of yesterday on that. Thanks to Prairie Fire Coffee for keeping all the Odyssey family fueled up each and every morning. Got a big old vat of it right there in the Odyssey kitchen, the lounge. You can always get your Prairie Fire Coffee. We appreciate them. We'll come back. Let's talk college football playoff expansion. Do we just rip the Band-Aid off? We'll discuss next.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
31001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Sports Daily is on KFH.
Longhofer Lawn and Tree Care, celebrating 60 years in Wichita, providing expert lawn care for a healthy lawn, tree and shrub care, and bedweed control since 1966. Longhofer Lawn and Tree Care. We welcome you back in here to Sports Daily. All right, TJ, let's jump in. Shots have been fired here. We knew last week that the coaches, the AFCA, the Coaches Association, right? No power, but I assume all the coaches are in this group. No, it seems that way anyway. That group puts its support behind a 2014 playoff. I think most coaches have been pretty public about supporting this anyway. I know Mario Cristobal didn't like it the other day in like a podcast or something. But generally speaking, most coaches have supported this. So that doesn't have any legs, though. It's just sort of a decision-making body, but one that's filled up with very important people saying, yeah, we like 24. Okay. We know the Big Ten liked this from the outright. We don't necessarily know how to get to 24, but they've supported 24. The SEC has not. Hang on to that for a second. Yesterday, we get the news from On3 and others that both the Big 12 and the ACC are now out there publicly supporting a 2014 playoff. Both commissioners, Brett Phillips, Phillips and Yormark, are out there publicly supporting a 24 team, acknowledging there are other things to figure out, but they're getting behind it. I've said from the beginning this is good for the Big 12, just because I feel like the Big 12 is always in a position to get the short end on CFP. So more representation from the Big 12, I think, is probably a good thing. There are a lot of concerns, but here's the other thing. So the SEC has to agree, I think, with the Big Ten to make this happen, and they haven't yet. We do get it reported now, and this was from the ACC commissioner directly from his mouth, that ESPN doesn't want 24. They want no more than 16. And you're like, well, why? Like, why would ESPN not want more? That's silly. Like, why wouldn't they want expansion here? And there's always been a rub that the ESPN and the SEC have way too much control over college football. Way too much. Certainly ESPN does. Okay, well, then further in the reporting, CBS has it this morning too. If it goes to 24, they probably invite in another TV partner. And they would, do things like rotate. And you're like, okay, there it is. That's why ESPN doesn't want 60. And at the end, and when you get to that point, it's like, who the hell cares what ESPN wants? No other league does that, TJ. No other sports entity sits there and says, well, what does a television partner want? Yeah, it's important what they think, but you're not making decisions for the good of your sport based on what your TV partner wants.
I've always had.
And all of that does is add gas to the fire people have said for years, which is that ESPN and the SEC are way too in bed with each other, and there's way too much influence over what happens because of what ESPN is doing.
I've always had this. This actually ties into the schedule release thing. We have gone so far past the line of like in my head, the way that it should always work, and it doesn't because there's too much money involved, is that the NFL should say, here's our schedule, pick what games you want. Like, not you guys get to pick the schedule, because that's the reason they're doing all this stuff. That's the reason why they're playing on Wednesday nights, because Amazon Prime's like, well, we'll pay for that. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, but the NFL, the NFL isn't hearing ESPN say, well, you can't play on Wednesday nights. That dilutes Monday Night Football. You know what I mean? The NFL's saying, we're going to play on Wednesday nights because somebody wants to pay for it. College football should be saying, we're going to expand to 24 teams because somebody wants to pay for it.
That's true.
I mean, we're in a financial crisis for a lot of these colleges right now. The obvious answer to why you expand to 24 is it generates more revenue. Like, that's that period, full stop. That's the reason you do it. Now, there are things that you have to be careful of, but college football's not in any danger, in my opinion, and I'll die on this hill, of diluting at the Division I level how we determine its champion. There are how many Division I college football schools are there? Like 200 something?
Like 140 something, I think.
Even if it's 140. Forever we were taking 2 teams.
Yep.
Then 4 out of 140. Doesn't make any sense. Nobody does that. 12 out of 140. Less than 10%. Who does that? Nobody does that. No league does that. Even if we get to 24. Now you're looking at a number, and I don't know yet if I would rather have 16 or 24, but that's 17 teams, 17% of teams making it into a playoff. What is the NFL now? We're at 14.
The NFL? Yeah, 7 on each.
14? 14 out of 32?
Just half. It's almost half. How about the NBA? They take like 20.
Ever sit there and watch the NFL playoffs and think, man, this is diluted? No, we're not even close to that number in college football, even at 24 teams. We're just not. Nobody plays the same schedule. You rarely are going to get repeat games. You'll start to get them in a playoff if the cream rises to the top and one league truly is much better than the others. You might have rematches at that point, but we see rematches in the playoffs all the time, all the time across other sports. So I will, until I die, say that is a silly art. We're not diluting the regular season in which nobody plays against each other. Even within these mega conferences, you don't see teams play each other in the regular season. So moving to 24, I think, is fine. Now, do I prefer it over 16? I'm not sure yet. But getting to that number is not too big. It's not. The other levels of college football play bigger playoffs than that, and they're a blast to watch. So if ESPN is the reason that the SEC is like, man, I don't know, because the SEC is going to get a bunch of teams in, whether it's 12, 16, 24, doesn't matter. It should be more money for them, honestly, if there's expansion. They can just make them all at-larges at that point. Okay, we'll do it, but they're all at-larges. And they'll end up getting 7 teams in there every year.
It's true.
I just like,
there's something
if
to
ESPN
be said that,
is crying about this, I think it should be a major red flag to all of us. And the simple answer from college football should be, we really don't care what you think. You need us way more than we need you. Somebody will broadcast our games, and they'll pay good money for it. If you don't want to do it how we think it's the best way to do it for the sport, you can start airing something else on Saturdays in the fall. Of course they're not going to. They just don't want to bid more for it, and they don't want anybody else to be able to have it. And if you're the sport itself, who cares? We don't care. The NFL's putting games on whoever will take them on whatever night of the week.
Yep.
Why? Because somebody's willing to pay for it. I mean, come on. Like, why do we do this? Why do we do everything so weird in college football? Why is college football this sacred thing that can, like, it's so silly and unnecessary? We act like we wouldn't love more playoff games in that sport. Of course we would. And we also act like we'll stop watching regular season college football if it's expanded, which is ridiculous. And of course, that's not going to happen either. You're not going to watch Ohio State, Michigan because they might play in the playoffs.
It's not so much that. I think that, like, you just know that the at-larges, like, and I agree, we've had this conversation. The at-larges is going to get more Big 12 teams in. It's also going to get more mid-majors in too.
Yep.
Like, they're going to find a way to get in. Group of sixes it's also going to mean that we're going to see, half the SEC in the field. Like, that's the thing. And that's the thing about the March Madness expansion as well, is that, like, these guys in the big conferences, like, it's going to raise opportunity for North Texas would have probably been in this past year. Who would the other Big 12 team have been? BYU would have been in for sure. There's another one you could probably throw out there. Like, there's a lot of teams that did not make it in that, would make it in this model. That'd be a lot of fun.
North Texas would have been real close.
Yeah.
Maybe they get in, maybe they don't. I think they were 25.
Yeah.
But Houston would have been in.
Duke
Arizona
probably
would have been in. Utah would have been in. BYU would have been in. You'd have had 4.
Yep.
No, you'd have had 5. Sorry, Texas Tech. You'd have 5 Big 12 teams in there.
Yep. So it's going to do that, which is the exciting part. It's also, all those SEC teams that also missed are also going to get into.
So. Absolutely. And but a team like Notre Dame last year we don't have to have that discussion in Texas. We don't have to have that weird debate. And remember, with a team like Texas, who got off to that awful start last year, but was preseason number 1, that to me is the big thing. There's going to be a lot of North Texas makes it in and gets absolutely smashed by Indiana. Okay, fine. We've had that in bowl games forever, right? Like, back in the day, what was so great about Boise State beating Oklahoma? Like, maybe once every 10 years, we get that level of upset. That's the way we treat college basketball. Do we not love a 2 versus a 15? What if that 15 makes a run at the end? Right? Is it less likely in college football? Probably, but it's possible. We've seen it in bowl games. So, yeah, that's the way it's going to be most of the time. But then there are these teams like Texas last year would have been an example. Florida State, when it got screwed. There was a year Oklahoma State got royally screwed by these, small playoff numbers where, I'd have liked to seen Arch Manning in Texas take a swing at somebody last year. I think the preseason number 1.
I know. They also lost a lot of games.
They lost 3 games.
Yeah. They got to mean something at some point.
It does. It means something. You got to be in the top 24.
Yeah. My thought also on this is the college football playoff has had, the biggest allure of any sport because it's so exclusive to get into, I think.
Really?
I don't know about the games, but I think it's more so the fact is that, like, when you look at these coaches, like, there is no better, barometer than saying, like, yeah, they made the playoff. Like, you know what I mean? So what Does that take away some of that? Because it's like, well, yeah,
so.
They were a top 25 team to end the year. Like, that's what that would be.
I don't think so. I think Ryan Day is going to be judged whether he gets over the hump and wins the national championship, which he did. But that was all he was being judged. It wouldn't have mattered if it was a 4-team, 2-team, 20-team. Doesn't matter. No. He was going to have to win the national title to get there.
Yeah.
That's going to be the same thing.
I think there's hard. I think it's hard because there's also just pushback, I'm sure, from people that, are just in the, we've just always done it this way, which I'm not saying is the right way at all.
I'm saying problem.
I know. And people that think like that are not good people in life because you just get stuck in your ways. But there is something to be said. I'll give them, some credit here because I agree with it a little bit, is that, you can, as a historian, things of that nature, like you're going to look back at the 24 Florida State, whatever it was, and 23 Florida State, and be like, how did that team not make the playoff? And it's like, oh, well, only 4 teams got in back then. But I get it.
Quarterback got hurt. They didn't lose any games, but their quarterback got hurt.
I know. And it sounds kind of silly. And there's a reason to fix that. But I don't know. There's just something to be said about a historic sport doing things radically different ways. Is it better for the sport? It probably is. I think
what else is better for the sport to that point? Like, let's have a debate about whether North Texas or James Madison deserves it, and rather than, some of these teams that could legitimately make a run that are being left out, like Texas, Notre Dame, that year with Florida State. Like, there are teams, it feels like, where it's like, man, like, it's like losing a game at the beginning of the season or losing a game because you played a ridiculous schedule. Like, if I'm the SEC, I'm all over this because your teams, lose out because they play such a big schedule. Well, don't do that anymore. Just get to this postseason. And there are risks, and we'll get to those certainly in the next hour when we continue this discussion, because there are a lot of risks. Again, I don't know that I would rather have 24 than 16. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure I'd leave 12 at this point, to be perfectly honest. But with the stakes as high as they are financially, like, this to me becomes a no-brainer. Whether there are risks involved or not, like, if you can bring another broadcast partner to the plate, if you can find ways to help these schools generate money, like if you can do this in conjunction with getting some grasp of, okay, we're making more money, but that just means we're paying our quarterback more. Like, if they can get some control over that with the transfer portal and contracts and everything else, then generating that money is going to mean a lot to these schools and these athletic programs. Athletic programs have been running in the red since the beginning of time, right? That's just always been a thing. Maybe they don't have to. Maybe they can be an actual boon, other than, the prestige and the exposure and everything that it brings to your university. But I just sit here and I see it, and all these commissioners are behind it. It's because the writing's on the wall. Like, guys, we got to generate more money. We have to. And if the SEC doesn't, and you hear that ESPN is the one saying, well, we don't want any more than 16, it's because they're trying to keep their grip on the postseason, and they don't want anybody else to have it. And that is a stupid reason, if you're college football, to make any decision. Who cares what ESPN wants? You put the best product out there, and then go from there. If they don't want to be a part of it, go fly a kite. We'll find 2 other broadcast partners that do. And of course, they will want to be a part of it. What is ESPN going to do in the fall? Not have programming?
I know.
Like, of course they're going to do it. So again, they're going to raise a fuss because they don't want to do it. Don't care what you think right now. You're not involved in this conversation. You step to the side. You can react when we decide what we're doing is best for the sport.
Mm-hmm.
Conference championship games become a major thing. And for the Big 12, who I believe typically has some of the most well-attended games, like conference championship game in the Big 12 still means something. At 16, TJ, I kind of am like, yeah, you may not want those. But at 24, I think you can keep them.
The thing that I had somebody bring up, we had this conversation, if they were worth anything or not, that if they expanded to a weird, everything like that, like an FCS type of model, which, that's a long ways away. But even 24, like, if that is that too many games to play a conference championship too, when you could just have a conference champion from the regular season? I think that would be possible, but probably not in 2026 anymore. Somebody brought up a good point, is that like it's possible when you had a conference where everybody played each other. Now these conferences are 20 teams deep. Like you could win a conference championship and never play the best team in the conference.
But that's why I think you can keep one, because it does make you earn that. I don't think you even have to, if you want to attach, honestly, like legitimately, if you want to attach something to it and you're worried your players, then just add a prize to it for the players.
Honestly,
right? Whatever.
Go back.
Like they get to split 10% of the rake.
I hate that the Big Ten went away from Big Ten East and Big Ten West, because it's the perfect way to do it. Like, especially in the mega conferences.
I agree.
You should.
I agree with that.
Then you don't get worried about the like, oh, well, we got screwed because we didn't have to play Ohio State and you guys did, or something like that. And it's like, well, then just beat everybody in the West and then play them in the championship, and you can win the conference.
Playing more games is never a bad thing. And, you know, if you want to lose games, lose Mercer, lose the cupcakes, lose those games, and keep the regular. I saw something else yesterday, and we'll just let this stew for a second because we'll bring this back up in the next hour. We're going to talk Royals next segment. Somebody said, well, these agents and players are going to say they'll be opting out of playoff games. I'm like, no, they won't, because you tie their deal. A, no, they won't. And B, you tie their deal to say, if you opt out, you don't get anything like that. Those are easy fixes.
It's also literally the only thing that they will not opt out of is playoff games.
That's right. Like,
you know what I would think, which I think we're too far deep in this. Just give every conference an auto bid, and we'll be fine. 10 autos, 14 at-larges. Everybody's happy.
I don't disagree with that. Like, if at 16, I don't like it. At 16, I'm going to need some guaranteed spots. At 24,
14 at-larges, that's plenty.
I agree. Like, get it. You got to get in there. The Big 12 would have had 5 teams in that last year. That would have been, I mean, you're fine at that. But even if it's 3 out of 24 and you're the Big 12,
I'm thinking about the MAC here. I'm thinking about the MAC.
Jaylon Thompson joins us next. Let's talk some Royals when we get back.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
31001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
And now, digging deeper with the teams you follow, it's another Sports Daily Insider interview on KFH.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. Joining us now, our Royals insider, Jaylon Thompson, Kansas City Star beat reporter for the Royals as they take on the White Sox. And as they back-to-back nights fall 6-5, Jaylon, as they back-to-back nights are let down by their starting pitching in what's becoming a little bit of a trend here. We're seeing some struggles there. We're seeing Cole Reagans on the IL. We'll get to him in a minute. But how concerned should we be as they finally hit the ball that they're not going to be able to pitch the ball enough here to keep this train rolling?
I think you just have to come to the realization that this is what this team is this season. This team is very much a up and down 500 type of team. You know, they haven't put all 3 phases together, if that's what you want to call it. Some people say 4 or 5. Just haven't put it all together at one moment. There was a stretch where they did, and they won 11 of 15, but they come right back down, right? So I just think that the only saving grace that this team has right now is the fact that the American League is terrible, and they're going to be around regardless of the fact that their record says that they shouldn't be. But like you said, hitting is coming together, but there's too many mistakes. There's too many situations where they did not hit the ball with runners in scoring position. Yesterday's game in particular, you can't strike out 3 times against Jordan Hicks and expect to win a game. And then, even the ninth inning yesterday, you're down 3, you get the home run, but it's only a 2-run homer from Bobby Witt Jr., not a 3-run homer. Can't tie the game up. Pitching was not there. John Schreiber gives up a home run to the young guy, and that's just what it looks like, right? So they got to figure it out. And it is only May, but how many times we're going to say it's only May? It's only June. It's only July. At some point, you got to fix it.
That's true. Back to your point about the American League before we dig deeper into the Royals' problems. Are the White Sox good? We can't figure it out if they are going to be legit or not.
The White Sox are improved. I mean, they took a big risk in taking Murakami, and he's worked out for them. Yes, he strikes out a ton, but if you're a Royals fan, when you want somebody that's hitting home runs and driving in RBIs, if he strikes out 1 billion times, at this point, I'm sure you probably would want something like that. The Royals just haven't gotten what the White Sox have this season, and that's just consistent offense and a pitching staff that has proven to be very strong at certain points. That bullpen is very good, and you saw that this series. Yeah, they're going to give up runs, but when it's time to get some outs, they're getting those outs. So I think they're improved. I wouldn't say they're a playoff team, but I say that you can't just walk over them no more.
Yeah, and that's a part of it. Okay, so maybe they're a contender in this division. Them being a contender in the division might not be the worst thing, right? Because it means muddying the waters. And it feels like the Royals are going to need that this year. Like if I look at the division and I told you 2 teams are going to run away with it or 4 teams will kind of stay competitive, I think the latter is going to benefit the Royals this year. They kind of need this thing to stay ugly a little bit in the division because I'm not sure, based on what we've seen, they're going to be able to keep up with somebody who starts to win a bunch of games and makes it like a 2-team race. I think they're more equipped for a 4-team race.
Yeah, I think you're right, Jacob. And I think that when you look at this team, you better win tonight. Because if you go to St. Louis, in St. Louis, it's one. Have you seen the NL Central? That everybody in that division is winning. Yeah. So if you don't win tonight, and you go to St. Louis and you lose 2 out of 3, you're putting yourself behind 8 ball with the Boston Red Sox coming in, Seattle Mariners coming in. That's pretty tough.
Back to the Royals' problems. The thing about the pitching is that the pitching is now letting up a bunch of runs, and the offense is keeping up. Complete opposite of what we saw a month ago. So we've asked this question multiple times now: is that which version is the Royals? We've made the point. It feels like Vinny's, at least 85%, 90% back to form. Salvi is getting healthier. You've gotten more outfielders than you know what to do with that can hit lefties or righties, I guess. It feels like the offense is going to be okay, right?
Well, TJ, I think the offense will be okay, but like you said, it doesn't matter if the pitching is not up to par. And I think they've gotten good pitching. I won't say it's everyone. I mean, you look at what Seth Lugo has done. You look at what Michael Wacha has been great. If there's anyone to go to the All-Star game this year so far, it's Michael Wacha. And that's just out of anyone on the entire team. Of course, Bobby Witt Jr. is going to get voted in and things like that, right? But Michael Wacha deserves to be there. I just think that where do you go? I think that's the thing for the Royals right now. This is what you kind of got. I mean, you don't really have anyone that you can say we're going to turn to this guy to turn around, or we got this ace in the hole that we can use when we absolutely need it. No, you're going to have Seth Lugo, Michael Wacha, Noah Cameron, Steven Kolick until Reagans gets back, Chris Bubich. That's what you have. So they have to pitch better. The bullpen has to pitch better. Carlos Estevez is out for 3 weeks, right? Who knows when he's going to be able to be back? If he does come back from that shoulder injury, right? So where do you go in that bullpen? You're going to have to rely on guys like John Schreiber, and you're going to have to rely on guys like Matt Strom and Lucas Ursay. Those guys can play, but is it enough? That was our biggest question this offseason. Did the Royals do enough? And it's clear so far that they really didn't do enough to get over that extra hump. The White Sox did enough to get better. The Royals, they look like the same team as last year.
John Schreiber, Jaylon Thompson, our Royals beat reporter last night, gave up the big run. It was the first run he'd given up in his last 5 appearances. That's only the second time he's allowed a run, and I think in his last 10. It was so bad at the beginning of the season, but man, he's been way better lately. That was a bummer last night. What did you see out of that? I mean, you could not have in the little pitcher's box, you couldn't have gone in and drawn that as a more hittable meatball last night. That was kind of the problem early when he really struggled. Where did that come from? Any concern with that? Because with Estevez out, they kind of need him now. And I know people probably haven't even picked up on how good he'd been lately, but man, he wasn't on that pitch. And so how do you evaluate that pitch and trust him now?
I think Matt Contreras is going to keep going to John Schreiber. That's one of his guys. So he's going to keep going to him, right? Regardless of what fans or people might think, well, maybe go try someone else. That's his guy when he needs to get a ground ball. That's his guy when he's going to need to get a big out. So he's going to keep going to him. I think he just threw a pitch yesterday where he tried to get over the plate and tried to get an easy strike call, and the guy hits it over the fence. I mean, like you said, it was right down the middle pretty much, and it was gone. So that can't necessarily happen. But the Royals, they have guys pitching in roles that maybe they didn't intend for him to pitch in early in the season. Like you said, you move everybody up a spot when you have, down a spot when you have Carlos Estevez, hurt. So he's pitching in you got Daniel Lynch pitching in a situation as a high leverage reliever. They didn't expect Daniel Lynch to be a high leverage reliever this season. They expected him to be a part of the bullpen, but he's in a big role. Same with, you have Urseg now closing. They didn't expect him to close. They expected him to be one of those fireman roles where he can go and pitch in different situations. Can you imagine if you had Lucas Urseg in that spot instead of John Schreiber yesterday? How does that game look different? Same with the game on Tuesday. How does that game look different if you have Urseg being able to be in the 7th inning or the 6th inning in those clutch spots? They just don't have that right now. So it's a way where the Royals have to just navigate these waters and try to get the 500 before the end of the month. If they can do that, then maybe they stay around. But like you said, you got to muddy the waters of the AL Central. That's the only way that they're going to make it.
Let's play our favorite segment every time Jaylon gets on the radio. I think it's time. We need a cold open for this kind of thing. I'm gonna play today. Back-to-back lefties yesterday and today. Jaylon he hasn't sat back-to-back days because they've been fortunate not to face back-to-back lefties. I don't think. Do you recall? Are they gonna do it again?
I think he'll play today. I think he'll play today.
Cutraro must have a headache thinking about that.
Well, yesterday was a different situation. The guy is 6'10", Nathan Schultz.
That guy was ginormous.
I mean, they're talking about Randy Johnson out there pretty much, right? And that angle is just tough against any left-hander. So we'll see. I think they'll have both Carter and Jack Caglione in the lineup today. And I think that you'll probably see Lane Thomas in there as well.
Okay.
And
Collins was 0 for 3 yesterday, so it's an easy sell, I suppose.
Or do you say Kyle Isbell? And then he let Lane Thomas be in there and let Collins. Collins is a switch hitter, so
here's what I'll say. You think he's gonna play? I think they're gonna sit him. Jaylon. I think they're gonna sit him.
I think it's a pride thing now. He won't do it. He won't do it. Stick to the analytics, Q.
I mean, either way, I know people want Jack Caglione and Carter Jensen to be in the lineup, right? But like I always say, if you want them in the lineup, they gotta hit. They have to.
Yeah, Carter Jensen came in last night, went 2 for 2, so it's kind of hard not to put him in.
So he'll probably be in, maybe.
I'm not quite as concerned about his at bats though. He's still like a rookie. Cags isn't really a rookie anymore. Like we're up over the amount of at bats now where he doesn't like you just like again. I know we have the same conversation, but like you're protecting one of the future cornerstones of your like people don't do that. I'm trying to think of like who profiles for another organization like Cags. and imagining them 300 at-bats into their big league career being a platoon player.
I mean, Nick Kurtz is the perfect example, isn't he? They're the
Nick
same
Kurtz,
draft.
Nick Kurtz leads off every night for Oakland, or for the Athletics. Apologies.
Sacramento.
Mm-hmm. Sacramento, West Sacramento. They'll be to Vegas soon enough. But to your point, I just think that you have even the only way this conference is ever going to be rectified is if Jack Caglione hits like he hit in the minor leagues, and he just hasn't done that yet. And I really think I hear both sides of the discussion. You want to play him every day to allow him to show that he can do that. I get that. I get that part of it. But the way they've been bringing him along slowly, you've seen the defense vastly improve. I mean, the arm strength has been there. He's been taking better routes to the baseballs in right field. You can tell he's getting comfortable out there, right? You can tell the plate discipline's improving, where he's not really waving at balls out of the strike zone. He's being more selective, and he's hitting the ball to all field. So I think he's performing right where they want him to perform at, and right where he needs to perform at. Does he need to play every day so that he can hit left-handers? I mean, that's possible that they could do that. But like I said, if you do that, then you're taking Lane Thompson's bat out the line. You're taking Starling Marte's bat out the lineup. And they both are really good against lefties. At least the last couple of nights they played, and the last couple of times they played against lefties. So what do you do?
We'll know about 2:00. Jaylon, we appreciate it. Good luck. Safe travels to St. Louis tomorrow. We will follow along on X and at the KC Star. We'll be back after this.
Thank you so much, guys. See you next time.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
83-10-01 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas fan headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issue a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
At you from an undisclosed location. Because if they knew where I was, they'd shut me down.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily.
Speaking of heroes, here's mine.
I guess that's me, or TJ, or Max. One of us, somebody's hero out there. Welcome into another hour of Sports Daily here on KFH. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for calling in if you'd like, 869-1240. You can email us, sportsdaily@kfhradio.com. You can reach us via our video streams on Facebook, YouTube, or X. Thanks also for watching on 12 News Connected. Thanks for listening on the Odyssey app where you can leave us voice messages. Thanks to Jaylon Thompson there for joining us in the last segment to dissect what's going on with the Royals on a little bit of a losing streak here. Got to figure that out real quick or they'll fall back and lose all the ground they made up. But we'll have Royals baseball right here on KFH tonight. We'll have Shocker baseball tonight on KFH 5:15. You can go back and listen to that interview with Jaylon Thompson right now on the Odyssey app. We will have Tim Fitzgerald in this hour. We're going to continue our conversation about the playoff expansion. We'll kind of go through maybe some potential downsides on the other side of that here before we talk to Tim and get the latest on what's going on in Manhattan as well. So, here we go. It's another hour. It's all what's on tap, brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company, where it's patio season. Have a brew with a view on Delano's rooftop deck. Enjoy happy hour on WBC East patio or grab a pizza outside shielded from the setting sun at WBC West. When you think patio, think Wichita Brewing Company, pizza and beer made here. We come back in, TJ. It is that time of day where we like to scour around, find some headlines I missed. Hit it, Max.
All right, Sports Daily fans. Let's take you to the sports headlines Jacob probably didn't see.
After a hiatus, the cold open is back. Sports headlines Jacob probably missed. Not even sports headlines. We can't say that.
It can be any headlines.
That's right. Jacob, it is officially a major weekend in the golf world. PGA Championship got underway this morning.
Okay.
First tee times
that we care about.
First tee times went off at 5:45 a.m. Central Time. So we've almost got guys that are done with the front 9 by now. So we've got some stuff in here. Yeah, there's some names. Right now leading the way is Harry Hall, the Englishman, 2 under through 7.
Playing Pennsylvania, Philadelphia this year.
Aronimink in Philadelphia, yes. And so far, I've been having it on while we've been talking. It is carnage on some of these greens. They're killing people. Bryson putted off the green. John Rahm tried to chip up on a ledge and it fell back down. I saw Rory already shank one, like a legit like TJ and Jacob type of shank, like towed it 15 feet out of the rough. So a lot of people said this was going to be a really easy golf course, but it's kind of nobody's going that low quite yet. Somebody's going to go way low though. If you can keep it in the fairways, you'll be fine. Fairways and greens, you'll make putts here. Anyways, notables so far. Where's our guys at? I just saw him.
Gary Woodland.
Let me scroll here. Notable names. We'll just give you some notable names as we go through this. Xander Schauffele, 1 under through 1. They're also doing splits, so first and 10 tees going at the same time.
Ooh.
I know. Wichita Open style.
They do a long drive challenge, beer drinking contest.
I don't know. Gary Woodland, even through 4. He's playing the back 9 first. Jason Day, even through 4. I believe they're paired up, yeah. Sam Burns, even through 4. Minwoo Lee, even through 3. Bryson DeChambeau, even through 1, which he must have saved bogey. Holy cow. I don't know how he did that. He must have drove the green or something because he putted off and then had to, 3-putt, basically. Ricky Fowler, even. Terrell Hatton, even. Then we start getting into some of the bigger numbers. Brooks Koepka, 1 over through 1. Ben Griffin is 4 over through 8. But then, why I'm telling you all this stuff is that we've got the official mascot of Sports Daily playing in this tournament. Remember him from the Masters, Jacob? Johnny Kiefer, our boy. Got another early morning tee time. He went off at like 6 a.m. He's through 6. He's 1 over. So
yeah. Okay.
See if our boy Kiefer can make the cut.
Our boy Sam Stevens doesn't tee off yet. He tees off later today.
Okay.
The afternoon window.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
I gotta Aron Mink. I gotta get. I gotta lock in here.
I'm excited. There's storylines to follow. Spieth to win the
PGA
career
Championship, kind of the forgotten major.
It is
a little bit. This is the one Woodland won the PGA. That's his major win.
He won the Open.
He won the Open.
The U.S. Open. Sorry.
Yes. No. You can call it the Open. We're in America.
Okay. The other one is just called the Open.
The other one's called the British Open.
I agree.
That's we're in America.
Just want to be clear. All right, more headlines we got here. What do we got? Drew Aller. Have you seen this headline?
No.
The Steelers drafted Drew Aller. I think they drafted him, not signed him. I assume
they did. Yeah,
they drafted him. According to Brooke Pryor, former KC star, now Steelers reporter, she says that the Steelers are essentially uninstalling everything Drew Aller has learned about playing quarterback and re-uploading their own fundamentals and mechanics.
That's always a good sign.
That can't be good.
This is what I mean. We saw the Steelers on that Thanksgiving Day, and I'm like, okay, Steelers, Broncos, but if Rodgers doesn't play for the Steelers,
Will Howard.
What do we? I know, but like, are the Steelers going to be good? No. Like, I hope for the best for Will Howard always. No. But I mean, the Steelers catching them, I don't know how good they're going to be.
Let's keep going. Chiefs Bills. We talked about them in the first segment of the show. It's happening in Buffalo, not Kansas City. Anybody wondering? It is in Buffalo on Thanksgiving night. It's notable, Jacob, because it now snaps. This is from Chase Snyder, Kansas City guy. Breaks a 7-game CBS streak. Tony Romo and Jim Nantz have called Chiefs Bills for 7 straight games dating back to the 2021 playoffs.
Say the number 7 straight?
7 straight games. 2021 in the playoffs, 2022 week 6, 2023 week 14, 2023 playoffs, 2024 week 11, 2024 AFC Championship, 2025 week 9. Have all been on CBS.
Well, they're both AFC teams. And this one's on what network?
NBC.
Okay. Because, I mean, that's a simple reason. They pick games on preference, and so that's just one CBS protects every year. But if it's on a special window, I mean, it is what it is. They're going to lose that game. But again, like we talked about, was it yesterday? Is that game the same next year as it has been?
They're in the same spot as the Chiefs are, I feel like.
I know. Who is the next wave? I mean, the league is trying to tell us it's the Rams. Okay. Yeah. Matt Stafford's the quarterback of the Rams. So that's probably not the one. Maybe for a 1-year deal. But who is the next team to sort of take that? Because it's been the Chiefs, Bills, Ravens, and probably 49ers, I would say, for a long time here. Like, who's the next wave? Because a lot of the teams that we expect to be good were also a part of that wave. And it's like, well, are they going to be better? And again, even if it is Seattle, and there's a chance it could be Seattle, there's not much everybody's fallen in love with Seattle right now. Like from a dramatic perspective, I would say. Maybe Sam Darnold is he married yet? Is there a chance that who's a young player on that team? Maybe Zach Charbonnet will start dating a pop star. No offense to Zach Charbonnet's wife or girlfriend if he has one.
Anyways, all right, let's keep going. NFL, kind of in the same breath. J.J. Watt, may have heard of him. He tweeted out yesterday after the international slate was released that we discussed. He said his thoughts: international game slate is nearing the realm of the traveling circus as opposed to the occasional showcase.
He's not.
He's right.
I don't believe it.
Is it a bad thing? I don't know, but he's right.
I guess. Why? Let's just go play. Let's just go play football, whether it's in Madrid or Minneapolis or.
I just want to know. I don't know. I feel like nobody ever talks about what the players feel about it, right?
I don't care what the players feel about it. They're paid to play football.
It's true, but anyways, okay.
I don't want to sound crass. Like, I care what they think, I guess, but like. But the thing, you have to take a 4-hour longer flight.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying that. I'm saying is that, like, everybody always asks, like, the fans always make a big deal about this, which it's their right to be entitled on it, I guess. They're the ones that go to the games. So, I don't know. They talk about it. Like, I wonder what the players think about it, because everything I've never really seen players.
Could you imagine, though, being in a position, and I think all unions are probably this way, but could you imagine being in a position where your boss, TJ, comes to you and says, hey, we got this assignment for you. We need you to go here. And then you go out and publicly rail that decision, and it's just okay that you do that?
I know. The thing is, though, like, my brain, because every time, like, the Chiefs have played overseas, like, my brain goes to, like, Travis Kelce last year in Rio, whenever he was like, hell yeah, I want to play in Rio. He's like,
that's
why
what
not?
I'm saying.
Like, that's cool. So
I think
all
expenses paid trip to another place that
I know. I don't know. I feel like it's just kind of fans. It's the fans that don't go to the games that are the ones that are complaining about this. I think the only people that have merit to complain are like season ticket holders that lost a game at home. Like,
but you're still paying. You're not having to pay for a game you're not getting.
I don't think so. I don't know that. I assume not. But I don't know. But I'd say a lot of this too is that these season ticket holders probably pay well in advance. Like, they've probably already renewed for next year. I think. I don't know. I'm
Those
making
renewals
stuff up.
just came available, I believe.
That's true. You're probably right then.
But even then, yeah. No, I get the, like, fans have a right to complain about whatever the hell they want to complain about. They pay for the tickets. They take the time to watch. Like,
my point is that maybe, like, social media is always the loud minority. So how many people really don't like this? I don't know. JJ Watt doesn't.
I would venture to guess more than half of people, if you got an answer from every single NFL fan, do not care. They're just like, all right, fine, I'll watch the game. I don't care that it's in Rio. I'm going to watch it on TV. It's great. Like, I'll watch it wherever they play it. That's what I think most people probably feel like. But yeah, it's fun. I'd be about it if I was a player. I think it'd be fun. All right, we'll come back. We got any carryover headlines, and we'll jump back into the potential negatives of college football playoff expansion when we return.
This is Sports Radio KFH.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived,
Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now. 83-1001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Hey, 869-1240.
Time to get busy.
This is Sports Daily on KFH.
Welcome back in, everybody, to Sports Daily here on KFH. Thanks to Crestview Country Club for being a great supporter of the program. Get out there, check out the golf. It's been hot. I'm going to go out and try to play Friday on the north. Get out there and swing it around a little bit. It's been a couple weeks since I've been out there, but mostly, TJ, I'm excited that the pool is opening soon. family and I spend a lot of time there in the summer when we get a chance. As it gets hot, it's the best pool in town. They got the big high dive. They got the great bar and restaurant right there at the pool. It's a great family atmosphere. Give them a call. Tell them we sent you here from Sports Daily. We come back. We discuss this in the first hour. We'll continue the discussion now. The news of yesterday, the reporting that both the commissioners of the Big 12 and ACC are standing behind now a 24-team playoff model. There is a lot of momentum at that. The coaches like this, or at least the coaches' organization likes this. The holdout here seems to be the SEC and now ESPN. And they better not. Who cares? Again, as we talked about in the first hour, who cares what ESPN thinks? They should not be a part of this discussion, in my opinion, period. I know they're your long-standing partner. They can either get on board or they can go find something else. You have to do the best thing for the sport and the best thing for the schools, regardless of what a television entity wants you to do. And all this does is give credence to the people like Tim Fitzgerald we'll talk to in the next segment, who have thought ESPN had way too much say over the years in how this all plays out and has been way too skewed to the SEC because of broadcast interests. Okay. I don't, listen, I'm not naive. I understand there's probably been some of that over the years. So there are risks though, TJ, with 24. And we've talked about some of them. Both commissioners have acknowledged what happens with conference championship games. In most 24-team models we've heard about, those go away. And so for a league like the Big 12, there's a lot of money tied into a conference championship. So that's some math that has to be done. Does a 24-team playoff offset and make a net positive over losing a conference championship game? That's one of the big things they've got to figure out. They've got to figure out, how do you fit in potentially? Indiana ended up playing 3 extra games last year. Is that right? Up to 16. I believe they finished 13-0 and went to 16-0 by the time it was all said and done. So in a true 24 team, if you played 13 games in a regular season, you would need to go 24-12, 12-6. So there'd be buys in a 24 team, obviously. So, but potentially, for the max, you'd go, 24 to, what would you have to take it down to? 24 to 16. Yep. So you go 24 to 16, 16 to 8, 8 to 4, 4 to 2, 2 to 1. 5 extra games there. Okay. So if you play 13, now you're getting to 18. That's probably too many. I'll admit that's probably too many. So how do you solve that? And if you played in a conference championship game, it would even be 19 up, potentially. But 13, I guess, would be technically include a conference championship game. Either way, 18 games at the Division I level.
That's forever been the crux of all this stuff, is that why not play March Madness, right? Like, if that's what works, you can't play that many games.
Because there's a physical component to football.
Exactly.
I think the easiest answer is stop with the silly games at the beginning of the season. Like, just get into it. Get right into it. You do the double bye, which a lot of them do that already anyway. And you get, let's call it 1, maybe 2. Cupcakes is an offensive word to those teams that they play, but we'll call them cupcakes, right? You get, because how many, let's go to, I'm just going to go to Indiana. Let's go to Indiana last year, and forgive me for not knowing who they played in, September off the top of my head. Let's look at them this year, actually. Let's look at who Indiana plays this year. We'll just use them as the example. So Indiana this year will play North Texas, Howard, Western Kentucky on their 3-game postseason schedule. Okay. So how do you solve this? You're going to potentially play 4 to 5 more games at the end of the year. Well, you at least lose one of them. The North Texas game is pretty good, right? Like, that ends up being, not that they knew that at the time, but that ends up being a pretty good game. So let's say you get one of those, you've solved your problem. Even if you had 2 of them, though, you lose Howard or Western Kentucky, and you just move up the conference, like you get into conference play a little earlier, great, right? Like, that's an easy fix for the power conferences. Does it limit the crossover games among conferences? It probably does. While that's a little bit of a bummer, honestly, what you're doing is you're trading that game in September for getting it in January potentially. Right?
True. It will hurt. It'll hurt group of
determine that final 24 teams a little easier.
It'll hurt group of sixes slightly, I'd have to imagine, because
big time.
crossover is a big deal for them.
Yes.
That if
but
Tulane,
again, we're not and we're not having this discussion based on like personal preference. We're like let's treat this like a business decision.
I know.
I like that those schools get those opportunities. Don't misunderstand. I think it's cool for them, but when you're making the decision for like that they're trying to make, that's not even in the top 10 list of considerations that you're
it feels
thinking.
like if you do that as well in a playoff model that we're building here that's full of at-large bids, excuse me, limiting crossover will make it harder to give at-larges to, you don't have a chance to beat an SEC team because you didn't play them, right?
It will, but you've got 24 teams in this model to sort through that, right?
I agree.
The need to do it is lessened because if you play strong through your conference, you're going to be in the top 24. And if you're a group of 6, if you go unbeaten through your conference, you're going to make the top 24.
I agree.
So you settle that on its own. I would say of the 24, you said 2 from each league, so 10 with 14 at-larges. Can we just make it 13 at-larges to make sure in the 24 teams that one group of 6 makes it through?
No, I didn't want 2 of each. I want 1 of each conference, 1 of each.
You just
10.
want 5.
I want the group of 6s to get 1. That's what I said.
Oh God, no, absolutely not.
Why not?
No.
Yeah, I think you should. I think it'd be awesome.
No, what? No, please, no.
Why?
Who would that even include?
Let's look. Hold on. 2020.
Oh man, absolutely not. No.
2025 SBS Conference Champions.
If you want to do something really awesome, by the way, this is just off the top of my head, but if you give them 1 at-large bid and you let them play their own tournament. Now that would kick so much ass. Like if you had a group of 6 play-in tournament, like they end their regular season and then all the conference champions get together and played a 6-team format, that would be incredible for a chance to get into the big tournament. God, we would eat that up if you wanted. Right. But no,
here's your 10. Here's your 10. Good. James Madison. I don't remember who won some of these games, so I'm wrong on a couple of them. I apologize. James Madison, Jacksonville State, Tulane, Boise State.
No.
Texas Tech. Did Miami? No, Western Michigan won the MAC, I think.
Western Michigan.
Who won the SEC? Alabama or Georgia?
I don't care.
Ohio, Indiana, and Duke. And that's it. Like that's only adding like 3 group of 60. Like there's 2 of them that got in.
Add Jacksonville State and
Western.
Who is it? Western Michigan.
Western Michigan. The Mustangs,
spite,
Broncos.
To spite 3-loss Georgia Tech or 3-loss Houston.
That's right.
No, absolutely.
I want to see. I'd rather see them play than see the 4-loss team play.
I'd rather the Big 12 get the representation. No, that is you can't. No, absolutely not. Nobody wants that.
You're right. Let's make March Madness 64 at-larges next year instead.
Well, I'm not saying make it 24 at-larges. I'm saying give your power conferences. Again, I'm trying to handle this from a business decision, right? A business decision. Give your at-large, give your power 4 2 bids each. So that's 8. And then you got to give me 1. Even okay, let's say you got to take 2 group of 6s. Or what do we call it now? Group of 6?
6. It's still the group of 6.
So give me 2 of them. I'll guarantee you 2 of those. That puts us at 10. And then we take 14 at-larges. Absolutely. Give it to me. That's what we do. Would there have been James Madison and North Texas were right there and Tulane. So you would have had a discussion, right, between Tulane, James Madison, and North Texas. And one of them almost would have been an at-large anyway. I think we'll cover it. I don't want to see bad MAC teams get in, though. Like, that's not what I want to see. I want to see if I mean, the reason you put that in is the Cincinnati is probably the recent one. UCF had one of these. Boise's had, it feels like, a million of them, where you've had those teams where you're like, guys, that team could probably go win a game. Now it's getting harder than it ever has been. Probably. I think we've watered down the dominance. You know, the top team is over the other group of fours, probably, but we've widened the gap of what the top teams are from those Cinderella type teams. But again, that's another separate issue to think about down the road. Will it always be that way? Because it always kind of has been. Will it always stay that way if they get some control over the portal and the absolute open market that's taking place right now? I still think there is some we're going to get a little bit of the swing back the other way on that at some point. I don't know when, but at some point. So what's the big risk? Conference championship games are a huge risk, and I don't know how you get around that. I think, honestly, with 16, you can't play them. With 24, what are they hurting at that point? That it's another game on the schedule?
What's the difference between 16 and 24?
Well, because with 16, you lose your conference championship game, and you're out and so you can't, and that's already a little bit of a problem. And I think they've got to find a way to address in a 12 team. Like, you shouldn't be punished for playing in a conference championship game. Like, you have a great season.
So why do you
want your conference championship
so
game?
So you're saying you want to keep it for 20
spot that you would have had you not played. You know what I mean?
So are you saying you want to keep keep it in a 24 because there's more at-large spots? So at-large spots?
Correct.
If you lose, it's not that big of a deal?
I think you can keep it that way. If you're worried about again, this is just a business conversation. If you're worried about the revenue loss from it, now from a fan's perspective, you don't even need it at that point. But the leagues can't approach it that way because the leagues make a lot of money on those games, and they've got to figure out how to offset that a little bit. So I think from a business perspective, I think you could still play it. I think you play it and you somehow share the pool with the players to motivate them to play it, right? And not just be like, well, why, like, because what you'll see is players, but you might see coaches be like, let's just prepare for the playoff. Like, this game's not, but we don't see that in basketball. They play it, and I get it's a different sport. At some point, I think people are motivated to play football, right? There's a conference championship on the line. Let's go get it, right? But I think you can work around it. Again, let me go back and say to everybody, maybe just tuning in, I don't know that I think 24 is the right answer. That's what the leagues want, most of them, and that's what the coaches want. I don't know if it's what I want. I'm not sure. I'm good. I've said this forever. Like, once we got to conference champions getting in this thing, I don't have a ton of complaints. My biggest complaint with this playoff is how long it takes to get to the actual playoff. That's what I think.
If you go to 24, that's more games you got to play.
Well, but you're playing games in between, right? Now nobody's playing in that gap. Like, there's nothing there. You give fans the ability to lose their attention on it. And you would, in my opinion, is it Dan Lanning that's an advocate of this? Mm-hmm. Like, you play in this the first week of January. I think you should play the championship game every year on New Year's Day. Mm-hmm. However you need to squeeze it down to get to that. That's what I would do. But if it's the next week, okay, fine. But you just don't have weeks off. You just keep playing. We don't take weeks off. I mean, in the NFL, you get a bye, 2 teams, and that's it. Everybody else, they just roll into it and keep playing.
I keep, kicking the can on what my thoughts are on this because it's such an interesting conversation. Like, but I think that, like, 12, honestly, like, this, where we are right now is the best that it's ever been.
Yeah.
And I don't really think it needs tinkered with too much. And I understand why they want to do it and for those reasons, but, like, the biggest problem was that you could go undefeated and not get in. And now you literally can't do that. Like, it would take such extreme circumstances. Like, it's almost impossible to go undefeated and not get in the 12-team playoff. And so I think that that's fine. And I think that if you win your conference and you're good, you're going to get in. I don't think I've ever looked at
conference you're in anyway currently.
And I think that the reason why I'm so, I'm this way about the March Madness expansion as well, and the NBA go into a bigger playoff and things like that. Is that like I've just never looked at a playoff. I'm like, you know what I think I want to see? I want to see those 4 teams that didn't get in, right? Like I need to see more at-larges. I've said it about Florida State when they were undefeated. Like absolutely, I said it about them. Like I said it about X, Y, and Z whenever, even K-State when they won the Big 12 when there was still 4 teams. Like it was like, man, that'd be pretty cool if they could see what they look like in that TCU spot because they beat them. But I've never looked at the 12 team last year. It's like, you know what, this is awesome. You know what this needs? Notre Dame. You know what this needs? Texas should be here.
Notre Dame and I think that would be the case for 16 because I think both of those teams are good examples of. I'm just curious, right? When I see those 2 teams of like, they feel like they could beat any of these teams. So I'm with you. I'm with you, and I'm not going back on my word. I've said for 10 years of doing this, if they can get to the format where you can guarantee me my conference champion is playing in this playoff, I will commit to being satisfied with that because that has been the biggest gripe as somebody who's watched Big 12 football his whole life. Like that to me devalues the regular season. Well, my conference champion doesn't have a chance anyway. What the hell am I watching this for? I don't have a chance at winning a national. I don't even have a chance to play in it. So that I think has devalued the regular season. Now that we're at 12, again, I'm not at like 12. I have to be fine with that because they solved at the time my biggest issue. If I probably prefer 16 if we're going to expand it one way or the other.
Yeah.
But I have to understand why there is this push and what's behind it and going into it. I just don't think I won't be bothered if they go to 24. I would leave open the possibility that it's awesome. Right.
Yeah.
But I don't have to have it. I don't
know if you saw, did you see Kelvin Sampson had comments on the 76 team March Madness?
No.
Which is in kind of the same breath of this conversation. So I'll bring it up. I've been meaning to say it to one of the Houston reporters down there, said something that he was like, I understand people think that like coaches want this because like we get paid based on making March Madness. And so there obviously would be more opportunity to do that. He said, but I don't think it's really that much different because in the same breath now, if you don't make it, that's worse. Like you're probably going to get fired if you don't make it. Like there's 76 teams that get in. How did you not, right?
Did he say he was pro or against?
He said he doesn't care. He said, sure, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I feel like Kelvin Sampson. Neat, cool, don't care. This football one's a little bit different. I don't know where Fitz stands on this. I'm curious to get his take on it because obviously it would benefit the Big 12. A 24-team playoff expansion is good for the Big 12, whether we want it or not, that's irrelevant. We'll have that discussion next. We keep rolling on a Thursday of Sports Daily.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story, clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now. 83101 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Sports Daily on KFH. And now, digging deeper with the teams you follow, it's another Sports Daily Insider interview on KFH.
And that insider joining us now, GoPowerCat.com, Tim Fitzgerald, our K-State Insider. Fitz, how are you this morning?
I'm good, boys. How are you?
Good. Having an interesting discussion about, kind of the news of yesterday, Big 12, ACC, both throwing support behind a 24-team playoff. We know the SEC is on the fence. We hear ESPN doesn't want that many, which, that's always been a point of contention, I know, for you, their ties with the SEC in that way. I don't really mind whatever they decide here. 16, 24, keep it at 12. I sort of understand what's at stake, all different directions on this. Do you have a preference on this, Fitz?
Well, I think the right number is 16, and I hate to agree with the SEC, but, the reality is if you're the ACC or Big 12, you've got two issues. One's financial, not enough money. This won't help. This will just this will raise the tide for everyone. I mean, the other conferences are going to get more money and probably, more money mathematically because they'll have more teams in. But also, the Big 12 and ACC are struggling with access, particularly the Big 12. And you've got to have a way to earn your respect to get into the field. Well, expand the field so you can get into it and then earn your respect. I think that's probably where they've arrived at, that we can't, consistently prove ourselves if it comes down to our teams having to win one game a year against a really good opponent. I mean, there's a level of chance of that you'll lose that a lot more than you'll win it. And that's what's happened so far for the Big 12, 2 losses. So I think they're just looking at this from the big picture, but also tie this back to the equity deal that the Big 12 signed and now the schools are rejecting the money from. They don't want loans. They don't want things like that. They want to earn it. And if that means expanding to 24 teams in the college football playoff, they feel like they're earning that and they're going to get paid for what they do. Not a big fan, but I understand why it's happening.
The private equity is interesting, Fitz, because as the two of us that sit here on the radio, we have no idea how that works or how it would have worked. Do you have any idea how that would have worked and why everybody is saying no?
Well, my question is, what is the entire deal about? Because this was all we were told about. And it's clear that this was not approved and voted upon by the ADs because of this portion. I mean, they would have voted to reject it if they didn't want the money. So there's something more, to this deal that they did want. This was a $30 million line of credit. This wasn't a handout. This was a loan, a line of credit, and I think the Big 12 schools are saying, hey, if we want to take on debt, we can do that, but that's not what we want to do. So why would we do it with private equity, which has a reputation of being rather predatory? So I find this interesting because there's something more going on here that the Big 12 must really want as a totality, or Brett Yormark pushed this through, strong-armed them to vote, and now they're saying, well, we voted yes, but here's no, we don't want it. And
yeah,
most of them
I
don't
think
want
it's
it.
I don't think it's overly complicated. I think there are two parts. The equity group already, it sounds like, if you believe the reporting, landed them $100 million in sponsorship type deals. And the equity group owns major stakes in players that are going to come to the table. They're just trying to, like, you're talking about some of the biggest players in equity. This isn't, John's payday loan company down the street. These are some of the biggest players. They're making an investment because they think too, I think, that the next TV deal is going to be massive. The loan thing to me just felt like a part of the deal. Like, you want a 10% loan? We'll give it to you. I don't know why colleges would need a 10% loan. They have endowments. They have all these things that never made a lot. So I think they're just like, no, we don't need that. But they're probably on board with them at the table in 2031 when a negotiation has to happen. I think those are the two parts. I think they're totally different.
Yeah, all well said, and I agree with that. Look, but I'm not going to let you slander John's payday loans. Okay?
I'm sorry. I didn't realize
I bought a big screen TV
had a
because of
lucrative
John.
deal.
Yeah. No, I think they're just looking at any way to create their own leverage and power in negotiations, and I think there's something bigger going on here. I totally agree with that, and I think it probably involves a media entity, and a lot of things are moving here. And I think there might be a strategic, but I can't talk this much, strategic alignment of what the Big 12 wants and maybe what this CBS Paramount Warner merger is doing, because this equity firm ties it all together.
Basketball, same breath, they're getting bigger. 76, I don't think we've spoken since then, Fitz. Are you pro that? Are you exclusively to football expansion takes? Is this good for basketball? What's your thoughts on that?
I think all of us clamoring for 76 teams really paid off.
I think
people were demanding
as you watched the tournament last year, didn't you sit there and watch March Madness this year and say, this is awesome? You know what this needs? Auburn.
Yeah, exactly. let's be clear, folks. There will still be the good teams in this tournament. They're not adding the good teams. They were already in. They're adding more mediocre teams. So you just made the product more mediocre. This one really offends me because it should have never been at 68. It should have been always at 64. And people are like, well, yeah. I'm like, okay, so they're going to play 12 games instead of 4. And guess what we're going to be at? 64. I mean, it's just silliness. This is clearly a money grab. And I don't get it. I just don't. I don't get it at all. Nobody wanted it. Maybe the money was too much to turn down. Based on the voting being unanimous, I guess it must have been incredible amounts of money.
Yeah.
Who's paying incredible amounts of money to film a first 12 game or show a first 12 game on their network? The demand, the people are clamoring for that, aren't they?
Would you let's look into the future. This starts next year, right? Year 1 for K-State and Casey Alexander. They have a pretty good year. They finish, I don't know, 9th in the Big 12, 8th in the Big 12, and their bubble team. And now they get in as one of 76 and one instead of one of 68. How do you feel at that point?
Yeah, that's exactly why they did it too.
I mean, don't you feel good at that point? Aren't you excited? Wouldn't K-State fans be excited for that? I just it was a no risk. There's no risk to expansion. Like, who cares?
Well, here's where I think the real truth lies. One of the things ADs don't like to do is fire coaches, particularly ones where it's a hard call. And this solves it in basketball. You just protected 12 more coaches a year, or 8 more coaches a year, I guess, to being fired. I made the tournament because that's the threshold that so many are measured by. I saw a great comment about Seth Greenberg being so in favor of it. And one of the commentators, writers said, yeah, you would have loved this because you wouldn't have been fired. You were always on the wrong side of the bubble. It changes coaching careers like that. And thus ADs have to fire less, buy out less. But the fans often are left then with a mediocre product that's just good enough to get by on a consistent basis. And if you're in that zone, man, that's an unpleasant experience for a fan base to be in. Yeah, he wouldn't have made the tournament in the past, but for the past 3 years, he's made the tournament. Now he's a great coach. And it just redefines what success is and makes it easier for the coaches.
That's true. I just brought up before you joined the show is that Kelvin Sampson basically put it is that, yeah, it helps the coaches make the tournament, but if you don't make the tournament, it makes you look worse, doesn't it?
It's true. It's true. It's true. It is very true. And it does make that, at least on a temporary basis, until the reality gets adjusted 5-10 years down the road. But on a temporary basis, you couldn't even make the field of 76.
Exactly.
We're going to hear it. Yep, you're right.
All right, back to the football expansion then real quick, Fitz. So I think there is very much a who cares to the basketball. Like, it's probably not impacting 90% of the viewing audience. Correct. The tournament starts Thursday. They don't really care what happens before that. Do you think if they went up to 24, which seems to be the desire here, that there would be a who cares? Because I don't buy it waters down the regular season argument. I've never bought that. We don't have that conversation in any other sport when it comes to the playoffs. You're just as locked in early in the year as you are late in the year. I don't believe in that theory. And I don't want 24 teams, by the way. I don't think it's necessary. But if it happened, do you just lose? Like, what risk is there to a conference championship game and losing that? That seems like the only real risk here to me.
Well, they're talking about getting rid of conference championship games, which I think is grotesque. I think then you just get rid of conferences.
Well, the Big 12, it's because the Big 12 really leans into conference like the fans do.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're in the SEC, you might have a great team. But if you won the conference championship, it says you're the greatest, even if you weren't. Maybe.
I agree. But there's still something to it.
Here's my thing: is unlike the NCAA tournament, where a bunch of schmo type teams get in. A field of 24 teams in football will include, unfortunately, probably like an 8-win team from the SEC, but it will also clear the way for a 10-2 BYU to be
the Big 12 would have had like 5 teams in that format last year.
Exactly, brother. And think about how that redefines how people look at your conference. Not if you just get in, but if you win. You got to go win. And I don't care if you're in that first round of 8 games. If you start winning a majority of those you play, people are going to take notice. And I think it's a really great opportunity to put Big 12 and ACC teams in front of a larger audience that, quite frankly, has resisted to watch it because we're the Big 10 and SEC. Why do we need to watch this? I don't sit around watching Division II football, FCS football, Sun Belt football very often, unless it's a Thursday night or something. So that's kind of how the Big 10 and SEC look at the Big 12 and ACC. They're lesser than us. We don't need to spend our time on that. But if they're in the playoff, suddenly you're going to pay attention. And if you're playing good football, which I think both conferences are capable of doing and improving it in non-conference games, they're going to start realizing, hey, these teams aren't that bad. They're really not that bad. And you put them in front of more people's eyes, you get recruits, you just raise the visibility of your programs. I think this, on the football side, this is a good move for the Big 12 in particular.
Yeah, I'm not going to advocate for it, but I think there's a pretty good chance we'll all like it if it happens.
Well,
I think.
That here's the difference in mathematics for me. There's a lot of basketball games all season long. There's just a ton of you're playing 2 times a week. There's so many more Division I basketball teams than football. There's just this barrage of product. Adding more at the end seems a little bit overwhelming. Football, you play 12 games. And I think adding more football at the end, they're adding more mediocre basketball games at the end.
Right.
They're adding more meaningful football games to these programs. This is life-changing for a football program, if that's the right word, life. If you win a couple games, but you only got in because it's 24 now, but you did win a couple games. You got through that first round, then you went to the round of 16 and you upset the bye. Yeah, people are going to notice, and it's going to help you.
Fitz, we appreciate it. Go find all the latest at gopowercat.com on everything you need for K-State. Follow Fitz at Life of Fitz on X. We appreciate it. We'll talk again next week.
Thanks, boys.
All right, we're coming right back. Don't go away.